Hello everybody, I'm Surti and welcome back. We are in Astro Colony and, well, I have made a number of changes. To all the comments, thank you very much for commenting and for the tips. Much appreciated. And yeah, okay, so let's have a look at this first. I finally decided to build the fusion reactor. And the fusion reactor provides 100 electricity. Now, that's pretty good, except that it needs polymer. Now, polymer is a bit of a production line. First of all, you have to have a secure uranium supply, which is not so easy because uranium isn't exactly the most abundant material. And then you also need good wood supply, which is also not great. So I'm going to remove this and I'm going to stick to solar. It is the most effective until something happens. Maybe the developer will change the requirements or increase the resources, but anyway, that's that. So not much has changed up top. I decided to stick with this configuration on the catches because it works, and for what I did downstairs, it actually works okay. So we have a abundant amount of ice coming in. We have lots of other resources. We could probably bring more in, as you'll see when we get downstairs. This is still carrying on. What I have done is I've increased water storage. Now, I couldn't exactly, and as you can see, we've got a lot of water stored. But let's just pop down over here and just do this. So if we put a cube down, we can't actually stack the cubes. So it does limit us. But if you decide to do something like this, so you take a wall, we'll just grab a window, slap it on the side, and then take a floor and put it on top, and then you can take a cube and put it on top of that. So now you can sort of stack things. It doesn't fill it as one tank. If there's a way to do that, let me know, but at this moment that's kind of the most effective way. Okay, so I've increased the storage downstairs as well, so we've got a little triple decker over here. Similar concept to how I've started to stack the solar panels. We have plenty of power, so I'm not too worried about that. We have even more power because if we go into our production room, this has changed a lot. Now, I've removed all the internal walls, and if you remember correctly, we had a lot of machines in here. Well, we have less, so it's less of a power requirement now. So what I've got is I've got all the incoming ores. They go into two smelters. This smelter is doing aluminium, and I'll show you why. Copper, well, it's doing all of them. You know, whatever comes in, this one does. And that will include titanium. This one's just doing the basic stuff, but it's also doing, wait, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, so this is also doing the iron rods. Okay, now what I've done here, first of all, this comes in, it's split equally between the two on this belt. And then they both come out onto one line. Over here, we have 80% of them, of the iron rods, going straight on, and 20% going into storage. The 80% come in here, and they go into making screws. But now this processes all the bars into plates, and we have some other things going on here. If you want to pause and just have a look at that configuration, but what I do here is, now I could maybe compact this a little bit, and I'm not storing any bars, just so that you know. I have bars in storage and I don't need any more, so I'm not sending any bars to storage. So all the plates are being processed, they're going through here. The plates, the screws, and the electronic parts are being split so that some can go to storage, which is on that line, but 80% of them go straight onto the manufacturer. I've got iron plates. Iron plates are being split at a ratio of 94 to 6. 6% of them going back into this machine, where we are getting a little bit of, yeah, we're getting 11% of the incoming carbon also going into this machine, and that makes the rods And all right, and we also have aluminium coming in, and that's going into plates, and they are being split off. All of them are being split off, and they're going downstairs. We have the more advanced sort of late game stuff. We have computers and we have metal frames, and they are going into the machine at 2/3 going into the manufacturer, 1/3 going into storage. Okay, in the manufacturer, we are doing electronic panels and obviously the motherboards, which then get fed back via this splitter along with gold and copper wire back to the constructor to make what they need to make. Is it gold? Is it copper? What's copper wire doing? Oh, there it is. The copper wire is going to the electronic parts. Gold wire is going into making computers, and there should be iron wire as well. Why is the iron wire not going that way? Probably why it's not working. So let's just add some iron wire into this mix. And I'm only sending 1 and 5 through to this machine. All right, so that should fix up. Yeah, then we'll start getting some metal frames coming in. Anyway, right now I haven't connected that to a storage. I'm just putting it into this little storage box, and we have gathered quite a lot of resources from this. So this isn't like other factory games where one machine makes only one resource. In this, and that's something that I didn't take into account right at the beginning, was I didn't really take into account that this machine can process everything that comes in pretty much all at the same time. And the production or the crafting happens concurrently. So this little setup will handle everything that's coming in from the top, which is very cool. All right, now we need to hop down to the bottom. So I've connected myself to a new planetoid, and I've got a few miners, and they're collecting gold and uranium, gold and aluminium. That gold and aluminium is coming through to this bottom floor. Now this is going to be where other than the aluminium and gold, this is where the external products will come. Things like titanium and uranium and stone and wood. So I put this container here so that I can dump stuff in, like if I wanted to put quartz in here, or if I wanted to put, well, I don't have a lot to put in here, but I think I can maybe split this and stick a bit of titanium in here. And then that will come out onto this belt. Okay, so that would also allow me to attach another planetoid on this side. So right here, all the wood, the quartz, the dirt, the stone, and the uranium are pushed through. That means that gold, titanium, and aluminium will carry on going through to the top floor for processing. And one of those smelters upstairs actually does the titanium rods. Okay, so the quartz splits off. Some of the quartz carries on and gets pushed into storage, and that would obviously be to make like hydrotonic or something. And there's quartz split off into this smelter, and that is used for making glass. Then we have our circular saw, which takes in all the wood and all the stone, and it creates the stone plates and the planks. Anything else gets pushed further on, and that would be basically the uranium rods, and they go into this machine, the uranium ore, and gets made into uranium rods. The circular saw pushes the stone plates into that direction to make concrete in the smelter, and the wooden logs go into the manufacturer. The manufacturer then takes the wooden logs and the uranium rods from this smelter and makes polymer. And right now those are all pushing into storage. So yeah, I haven't got any uranium, but I think I have some uranium rods, so we could actually get that. Now let's just start that. Okay, I've got planks. Okay, and do I have any stone plates on me? Yes, I do. So we can put stone plates in there as well. That will bring this little setup alive. So as you can see, you don't need a lot of machines to process all the incoming material. Right now, I have so much that I don't really need to make a massive factory. I could build on almost infinitely. I have so many plates. I've even got lots of graphene. That's another place that we can have a quick look at. So if we go up to the carbon manufacturing floor. Okay, we've got carbon coming down, but we also have aluminium plates coming down. So over here, these two constructors, because carbon fiber is very slow, it takes 10 carbons and it makes... Now, I've put extra carbon that I've had in other places in here, so there's... It's a little bit deceiving. When that runs out, it'll be even more slow. But it takes 30 seconds to make 1 carbon fiber out of 10 carbon ore. So I've got 2 machines. I could probably have more. But that carbon fiber then comes into this manufacturer with aluminium plates, and it makes graphene. So there we have that. And right now that's just going into the storage box and is not connected to the main storage. I will do all those connections, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure everything was working. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, when you're only collecting ice, you will get other materials within the ice. Oh, wait, no, it's not showing any. Unless something's been fixed. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, so there's some carbon in that, but there are other ores. So I've stored all the extra ores, other than the ice, in this storage container, which we can then plug into the rest of our system. And right now I have quite a lot of stuff in there. So, you know, that could get this going. Now, when you have this many items and you want to connect a line, rather take those items and put them into a smelter or into a machine. Because if you just connect the line, it's going to back things up and it's going to take ages for it to clear out. So if you want to get a good idea how your production line is working, yeah, I wouldn't just dump all of those on a conveyor belt and connect them in. Okay, you'll also notice that I've moved the control console up here. And I've faced it north, but that means that I can sort of be up here and I can control it because, yeah, probably not ideal. If I knew at the beginning what I knew now, I would have changed the layout of this a little bit more. Okay, and our ship is gone because I came down. We still have a visual on our black hole up there, but when I came down, I don't know if it was because I was outside the oxygen barrier, but actually it didn't matter because the other ship was inside the oxygen barrier and it just disappeared, and I went looking for it. I couldn't find it, so we'll make another one at some point. I would have assumed that if you landed in the hangar, it would stay in the hangar, but apparently not. But I haven't started animal farming yet, but I'm pretty much ready to do that because I have so much water in storage. Now, I've still got to play around with whether we're going to run all of these all the time. And I'm not sure if it's completely necessary. Will I need to get more ice production, more water production in? I don't know. I have restarted the hydrogen production, just so that we got a bit more hydrogen because I see it's being used. And yeah, water is going well. I could actually probably switch this off, but I'll leave it on. We need to get that. I just feel like once these tanks are full, you're wasting your resources because they still carry on doing stuff, but then they do sort of fill up a little bit with ice. Oh, these have a little bit extra in them. And the ones upstairs, well, oh, they've also got, so, well, everything's, oh, that doesn't. I wonder why that has so many. Pretty strange. And that one's empty too. So you can see we are still struggling to provide enough ice for these ice crushers. I think I need to check my splits to make sure that everything is still working. All right, so we have good production. I believe that we are now producing everything in the game, which means that we're in the end game. So the next goal would be to head up to the black hole and go and have a look. And we will do that. I think the next episode we'll do that. I believe that there are some updates coming. There are some bugs related to going through the black hole and losing your save or something. I wasn't really focusing on what they were saying was the problem, but the developer has been bringing out updates like every day, so I expect that should be fixed soon. However, in this episode, I would like to do a little bit of animal farming, because we need to provide our people with some meat and stuff. So eggs, I think, would be a good thing to start with. So I think, yeah, we'll just leave this one over here for now. We've got a space idea. This one's a bit close, so I'm going to take this out, and we're going to give it a little bit more room. Just one more block. And I'll go and change underneath. Okay, because your animal farming needs two things. The first thing it needs is water. The second thing it needs, as you can see, we'll do some chickens first because they're cheapest, but they need wheat. So we're going to have to bring up some wheat from downstairs. And I did plan a little bit for this because I've put a splitter down. Actually, I pushed, that was smart. I pushed all the wheat into a storage container, so we have a fair bit of it. The reason being is because we have a huge amount of bread. So there's no real need to carry on with wheat, considering. Now, we'd probably have to have more wheat production if we were going to run a whole bunch of animal farms. Otherwise, it would all just run out. But that's something that we can think about at another time. For now, we need to just get this started. So we know that the wheat's going to have to come in this way. So with the connector, yeah, I must just plan because we're going to need to bring the products down from the farming floor to feed into the kitchen. So just keeping an eye on my spaces. And I'm just using the top tier ones because, I have them. Now we're going to want this to come up over here and then go into it and, oops, in there and change the direction. Transport pipe over there. All right, we're getting wheat. Now, maybe shouldn't take all of it, but, it's coming. And then we can just put in a conveyor belt to go in there. Okay, so that's sorted out. Now water connections on this side. Okay, good, we have water. Now I've kind of moved it across to the side so that if we want to, we can have another barn over here. Then we're going to need the pasture. Now I'm going to do chickens. So wait, hold on, what size do chickens need? Chickens need a 1 block. So maybe, I don't know, we'll have like 3 blocks? 4. Alright, sweet. And then I'm going to need specialist robots. And this needs 2 of them. I wonder if I should put more. Yeah, well, we'll see. Okay, so we'll shoot down to our producer, and what do we need for those? Aluminium bar. Alright, so we would like to have 2 of those, and we'll start the production on them. And we should probably put the aluminium in there. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we have an output, and the output is going to give us eggs. So we need to get that back to where we are. This is quite tight. Okay, let me see how I'm going to deal with this. Alright, so with just a little bit of fiddling, I think I got this right. Okay, so we do have chickens, and yeah, I think I'm probably going to need more. So let's add some more in. I don't know how many blocks those will service, but yeah, we've got them. And how we're doing with, okay, we've got 133. If that number drops, it seems to be going up, but if it drops, we know that we could be in a bit of trouble. And now we're up to 6 chickens. All right, so let's get this, let's get those eggs down to where they need to be. And we just need to add in a, switch the direction, and we can literally just bring this out right onto this belt. And then we'll need to go inside and add a recipe. And that recipe will be omelette. Let there be omelettes. All right, let's see when our first eggs come out. It does take quite a while. It's like 4 minutes. Is that right? If you hover over it, you can see down at the bottom growth phases, water for 60 seconds, wheat for 60 seconds, water for 60 seconds, wheat for 60 seconds, and then you get some eggs. Okay, well, what if we can put more in? Let's Let's do that. We'll see what the limit is. Okay, our wheat is still going up, so that's good. And it appears that the chickens are growing. Yep, there's one that just grew, so... Okay, that's where it takes time. Maybe. And at some point they lay eggs. So it does take a while to kick off. And there we have our first eggs. Alright, awesome, it's working. Good. So someone's going to have an omelette. Okay, and once the eggs are laid, is a new chicken put down? Yep. Okay, so maybe 12 isn't the limit. Well, I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys can decide. So basically, in order to get eggs, a chicken has to grow up, lay the eggs, and then disappear. Sweet, okay. Now, I could have done this waterline better because now I realize that there's... let's delete that so we can see where we are. And if we go below, I could actually take that waterline and come from the bottom rather than making it look horrible up top. So we have omelette production. Ah, yeah, there we go. Much neater. And just another tip on the water. If you do want, you can store water anywhere. So if you've got pipes running down here, you can put another water tank over here if you really wanted to. Let's go and have a look at the kitchen and see how omelette production is doing. Okay, so we need 2 eggs to make an omelette, which is about right. I prefer my omelettes with 3, but I'm happy with 2. So when the next eggs come in, which will hopefully be soon, we can start making an omelette. Any on the table? Oh, there we go. We've got an omelette in the canteen, so that's good. That's really good. All right, so let's see how our wheat is going. We have 140, so it's going up slightly. So that one farm is capable of producing enough, only just. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to achieve. So that's where we're going to leave it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give us a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe and the bell icon for notifications. And give us a comment. Let me know if you've got any better ideas. Let me know what you think of the new production facility layout. It works, and it's not taking any strain at all, even with so few smelters. So yeah, let me know what you think. So until next time, cheers.